Come on, we live.
Alright, Con.
Oh, Salaki.
Play it one more time. Alright. It's all right, good. It's all good.
Come on.
Alright, hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, first and foremost, we want to give all honor, glory, and praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rukakadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. Alright, we're coming at you once again. Alright, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai with another street teaching. Okay, Lord willing, this is edifying. Alright, and what we want to go into, man, is this guy Freaky Joe, as he's been coined, alright, Joe Biden, your new commander-in-chief, man. Alright? He's signing off on all type of debauchery, okay? And look, this guy came out and he already told you what he was about back when he was speaking before legislation. Alright, when he said that they was gonna vote on the mark of the beast. And we believe he's gonna be the guy to bring it in. Alright, but first we're gonna go into some of this stuff that he's got on this article, on this thing, these policies he's signing, man, dealing with this debauchery in Egypt. You got something?
Yeah. This is Revelations, chapter 13 and verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon.
Right, and that beast coming out of the earth, man, represents the revived Roman Empire, man, which is America, Babylon the Great. Okay, the beast whose deadly wound was healed. Okay, but he was not killed. His deadly wound was healed. He's alive and well now, man. Okay, that's this beast today, man. America, Babylon the Great, with those two horns like a lamb, representing the two-party system, which represents peace. Because a lamb is a peaceful animal, right? And so they give you these two-party systems to make you think that peace can be established because everybody gets a fair chance. But really, when he opens his mouth, flames start flying out, and your ass get burned. Okay, because he really speaks as a dragon, going into draconian, meaning harsh rules, man. Harsh and unreasonable rules, man. You know? All right, so we'll read some of that article that bro got.
Come. This article is from CNN. The title of it is Biden's restoring what Trump stole from the alphabetical people.
So from the alphabet boys.
Yeah, the alphabet boys.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Con. It says at the top, in the first hours and days of the Biden administration, something precious has been returned to us. That invaluable thing that has been restored to the alphabet boys and many others is hope. Among President Joe Biden's first actions in office was to issue an executive order bearing workplace discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity.
Right. So this guy Biden, okay, he's coming as a white knight, so to speak. Okay, for them alphabet boys, which we're gonna coin them, you know, them modes and bows and all these other different things, man. All right. He's being a white knight to get them their rights back, so to speak. Okay, can somebody get here mingle the perverse spirit in the midst thereof? Right. You see? And so this guy's proven to be exactly the opposite of what you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans wanted in a president, man. You see, because you was thinking that Joe Biden was going to come through and do all these righteous things for you, when really he's going to further take down the whole nation, man. Which really is all through the spirit of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Sure. But what he's doing is he's further pushing the underlying agenda of the BLM movement. So that movement ain't really about helping, you know, so-called black people. You know what that movement is about? Furthering the destruction of your nation, man. Okay, because what do they do? What do they push? They push removing the man out of the power of authority and setting up women and transgenders. That's what they push. And so now what Joe is doing, he's backing them up. He's giving that movement strength. You see? Got something?
Yeah. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. And the Lord hath mangled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, and as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit.
So the Most High have caused Egypt to err in every work, as a drunk man staggereth in his vomit. There's another parable that's put forth speaking about vomit, right? The scriptures say, you gonna get it out? Go ahead. There's a parable in the scripture speaking about vomit, which goes into what? Philosophies. Okay, your sins. These sins and these wicked things that you've done that make you filthy. You see? So whenever it loads up, you know, it's going into that, man. And so it says that the drunken man staggereth in his vomit, man. So this place, America, is like a man that done he can't hold his liquor, you know, laid down, then he vomited up on himself. You see? That's this place, man. You see?
This is Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 7. But they also erred through wine and through strong drink are out of the way. The priests and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit.
That's right.
And filthiness, so that there is no place clean.
Right. All tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Now, specifically, that's speaking about the prophets, okay, which goes into these different men, these different prophets of Israel, man. Okay, they're from the Christian churches on up to the other false prophets of the nation of Israel that know they Israelites. That's preaching the mark of the beast, ain't the RFID microchip.
Time, brother. Hey, when you read down, verse 9 goes into whom shall he teach knowledge and whom shall he make to understand doctrine. So you know it's talking about different philosophies and doctrine, man.
That's right. That's right. And also too, when it speaks about that, it said that you should read precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, and they put forth two different scenarios. There's those that would do it in righteousness, that he will teach the right way, and then there's those that would do it in wickedness, okay, that will stumble by trying to go into it precept upon precept. So there's two different sides of it, you know? But still the way, that's how you know that's talking about them that's quote unquote in the truth. You see? Because who are the only ones that read precept upon precept and are stumbling and going back? We the only ones that use precept upon precept, the Israelites, right?
Right.
Whether they be GMS, which we believe got 144% truth, or other camps, which are going off on key things. You see? It's all right if you got a discrepancy about something little, but the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. You see? It's not sin. It's not popping white women. It's not an embargo. You have to be able to physically buy or sell with the mark of the beast. What else is it besides the RFID microchip, where everything's going into a digital currency? So you're going off if you teach anything otherwise.
Hey, man. Hey, the scripture says to watch as well as pray, man. We're supposed to be watchmen. When you look at the economy of the world, man, they're pushing towards a whole digital currency, man, and a whole global currency, man. So how could it not be this RFID microchip? You guys aren't paying attention, man. Or either you know and you just taking the bag, man.
What you got to say?
I was going to say, what they got going on right now with the vaccine is they're trying to make passports.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Yeah, well if you don't take the jab, you can't travel. And so that's just another example of how they're streamlining stuff and they're locking you out of certain scenarios unless you have certain things. You don't have this, you can't do that. So what's gonna stop them from doing that with currency?
exactly.
You see? What's gonna stop them from doing that with currency? You see, they already have it where if you they're enforcing it through war and through killing people. Okay, that's another way he's preaching as a dragon, because he brings democracy to these other nations, but really it's there so he can take their resources, so he can weaken that nation and then take over their resources. You see? Have a clip or something? No, go ahead. Whatever you get, just get it. Go ahead.
If you could grab Habakkuk chapter 2.
Con.
Yeah, but that's how he weakens these nations, man. He comes peaceably. Look, we can help you. Just follow our infrastructure, you know? Just go ahead and set up democracy. You know what? In the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, they go to help so-called third world countries, but there's stipulations. We have to make sure that you're going to be able to pay us back in the next couple of years. So you have to implement this infrastructure so that we can verify and confirm that we're going to get a return on our investment. You see? But really they're setting them up for the okie doke.
Are you good, bro?
No, you good, bro. Yeah, but if you want to go through, you can. If you don't, you go around. It's up to you. It's up to you. But yeah, you know, they setting them up for the okie doke, all right? Because these different, look at Venezuela, is that who it was?
Yeah,
I mention it
Venezuela.
all the time.
They've been economically crippled by being pushed out of the oil market.
See, how you pushed out of the oil market when you linked up with the U.S., and U.S. is one of the biggest consumers of oil. See? And so they had no choice but to say, fuck this place, and start trying to find another way to sell their oil with different currencies. Okay? But that's not going to go too kindly with America. But see, there's a time coming where the time's already here pretty much, where Russia, which is known as Gog and Magog in the scriptures, is becoming a defense for these other nations. Right? If you want to get that, matter of fact, if you could, brother, get it. It's a scripture. If you go to Google, it says, "He shall be a guard unto them." You type that in and then type KJV, and it should pop up. A guard unto them, KJV. All right.
I got this precept right here because the brother was talking about, you know, the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, you know, how they go into countries bringing democracy. But really, they bring those countries down, man. You know, these different Middle Eastern and so-called Arabian countries, that shit is out of order now because he wants to put their policy and, you know, women's rights, that's the guys they put on it, man.
Yeah,
you know, and equality and destroy the whole order, you know, of their country, man. So this is Psalms chapter 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant, right? So a covenant is an agreement, man. So, hey, the U.S. makes agreements with a whole bunch of people, man. You know, when you go back into history, you know, the what do you call it? The INF treaties were the denuclearization. The U.S. and what was it? Was it Iran, Iraq? No, U.S. and Libya, right? They made a treaty, right? A covenant, okay, to denuclearize Libya, okay? You know, and they always come to the guys, oh, it'd be better for your economy, this and that. We won't sanction you. You can trade with the U.S. But once the prime minister or the president, the king, so to speak, of Libya, you know, actually took heed to that and made that agreement, what happened? U.S. caused them to be assassinated. A coup rose up and took them out, man. And hey, these are these orchestrated. I think, is that Gaddafi?
I may be wrong on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. The U.S. orchestrates these things, man. So they made a covenant to try and establish peace, but he still put the sword on them, man.
Straight up. You know, okay. And the scriptures, you know, the scriptures say, if somebody could get Revelation 13, it calls them to worship the image of the beast, that who should not should be killed.
Yeah, I can grab that too.
Okay, because he does this thing by force, like the bro was just going into. You got that precept. I think he got it. It's Ezekiel 38.
Oh, Ezekiel 38.
Okay, yeah. It's all right. He got it.
Yeah, there's a little before you go to read. There's a little bit. One more verse on here.
Go.
It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords, man." So, just like these politicians, man, with these, you know, the seemingly opposing forces, they talk a big game to get up in there, but it's already free, you know, prescribed already.
Yeah.
That who's gonna get up in there.
Especially in the U.S., of course, yeah. And then even the other place, they put like puppet leaders up that's gonna do their bidding. You know, a lot of the funds that go to these different nations, you wonder why they still third world countries, because their leaders take those funds and use them for themselves. It's like a payout from the U.S. pretty much to implement their plans. You know.
Okay, Khan, I was just there.
Okay, Khan, you know, like I was saying, okay, they do this by force, just backing up what the bro was saying. right? And that goes into this beast, man. That's how you know who the beast is, man. Okay, it's NATO and the EU, of course, but who's at the head of NATO? Ain't it the U.S., if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
We're the spearhead. You know?
Yeah, the U.S. It's that whore that sitteth upon the dragon, man.
Hey, damn. So what
The
happens?
beast.
What happened when you sit upon the beast? You control that motherfucker. Let's go this way. Let's go that way. You see? That's funny as hell.
What is it? And the beast hated the whore, right?
Burned it with fire.
Burned it with fire, man.
Yep, they gonna
So these
come to hate it.
nations gonna get on America, man.
That's right. You got Revelation 13?
Want to read the whole thing?
No, just that he caused it all.
Something that dwell on the earth, usable such miracles, calling the one that say,
Will not worship the beast and be put to death. Yeah, right there it says should be killed. Will not worship the beast. Go ahead. You can read a little bit up through the spirit. It's like
Right,
right here,
this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 13. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
yeah, Hiroshima. This represents like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You drop, what was it, Fat Boy and Little Man?
Yeah.
On them, those what was those? Those were what? I forget what they called those.
Those were atomic
bombs.
Yeah, so now he got it way worse than that. Okay, but still people was afraid of that when he did that. And America does many different things to have the other nations afraid.
that those bombs was one of them, man. You know, but now all the other nations got bombs. They got that glitter and spear, man.
That's right.
This is verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
That's the real thing. Right, Khan. So you see? So what? Read that again, Baba Kushah.
It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
See? So that's what we were just speaking about. How he goes into these different nations. See, this goes into that image. What do you see when you stand in front of a mirror? You see an image. An exact replica of what's standing in front of the mirror is what you see in the mirror. So that has taken on the image of you and reflected it. So that's what he's telling these nations to do, to make an image to the beast. It's not saying he's going to go there and, oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got
That's
that
the
word
word
for image right here, which is icon or icone. It says an image, figure, likeness, an image of things, the heavenly things. That's what it says in parentheses. Used of moral likeness or renewed men to the Most High. The image of the Son of the Most High, into which true Christians are transformed in the likeness not only to the heavenly body, but also to the the image of one in whom the likeness of anyone is seen.
One in whom the likeness of anyone is seen. That's interesting.
Right. It says applied to man on account of his power of command.
I think the point was above that. Likeness, that is literally, profile, or figuratively, representation, resemblance. Okay? So, go ahead, you got it.
Hey, I work at a, so-called, school or whatever. But I talk to some history teachers, man, and I just, you know, plainly ask them conversations about historical facts. I'm like, what do you think about the Greek Empire? What do you think about the Roman Empire, man? Some of the stuff they say is like, man, it's crazy because America seems like Rome.
Yep. And that's funny that they see that, because that's true. You see? And so when it says he goes to these different places and tells them that they should make a like or make an image to the beast, that don't mean he's going around saying, hey, look, all right, now we're gonna kill you if you don't paint a big image of Caesar Borgia on the wall right now. Paint Jesus Christ, or we'll murk you. That's not what he's saying, okay? What he's doing is he's saying, well, you know, it'd be better. Look at America, man. Ain't we a superpower? Ain't we some of the biggest consumers and one of the most glorious and glamorous nations on the planet? Well, if you want to be like us, you need to implement a two-party system. You need to implement democracy. Then your people will be happy. Bullshit. Ain't nobody happy here, man. He's been happy for a while. Okay? But it ain't no way in hell everybody been happy. That ain't even the truth. You see, that he's deceiving the planet. You see? That's his job. He's that devil, man. That's why he's called a Satan. Okay? Satan.
The devil is that old serpent, man.
Yep, that's right, that old serpent, right. Okay? So that's what it is, man. He's implementing these two-party systems, this democracy in these different nations. Okay, and what else does it say? Let's go on that.
It says that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
So the Roman Empire was taken down, okay, but it lives again. It's been reincarnated.
The fall of Rome and the rise of the Israelites at that time. And that's around the time period of Severus Septimius, which I believe Septimo means 7, Septimius means 7, and Severus means to cut, man.
Yeah.
Right? Wounded with that sword.
Right. It was real severe too. Get that in his name, severe. You know? So, you know, that's what happened, man. Now, and it's living now in this day and age in the revised Roman Empire, man. Go ahead.
Right.
They should be killed.
Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right. So this has been happening, actually. This right here has been happening because different nations that don't adhere, eventually he finds a way to kill their leader and put in his leader so that the image can be on there. If you won't bow down to America and go ahead and implement this two-party system, go ahead and click up with us, then what has been his modus operandi? To kill your ass. To kill your ass.
Hey, get that Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse, what is it, verse 6.
Got our other precept man back too.
Yeah.
There's never one, you know. He said he got it already.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 6, and it reads, shall not all these take up a parable against him?
Start at verse 5.
Verse 5, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, he enlargeth, his desire is hell, and is as death.
So he's a proud man, okay? And now, these people, these Edomites, the lowest of all men, okay, the basis of men, if you could get that, set it up over at the basis of men, okay? These men have come up with some of the most pompous, proud, fucking, I can't even think of the disgusting adjectives to add to this situation. You know, they got Darwinism. I can't even name all of them. They got all these things that put them up as being a higher being above all the different nations, and it justifies them of going through and slaughtering them brutally. You see? Yeah, the Proud Boys. They got this fucking philosophy has made them drunk to the point where nobody else matters. Everybody else is a fucking rat or a heathen. When in actuality, nigga, you are the basest motherfucker on the planet. Imagine, we got Moab over there chasing rats and eating them. And they not even considered the basest.
They're not even considered the lowest of the low, man.
But this nigga who's in charge is. So imagine what they do behind closed doors.
Right.
You see? If Moab is openly killing animals and rats and iguanas and shit and eating them and serving them to motherfuckers, and he's called the wash pot, Imagine what he is doing. He said, upon, hey, matter of fact, somebody got to get that. He said, and upon Edom shall I cast my shoe. I believe it says. So that means I can't even wash with you. I ain't leave my filth for you. You can take my shoe.
He's a footstool, man.
Yeah, come straight up. Remember that day we was talking? I was like, we're gonna have a line of Edomites in a line of heathens in the kingdom, and then I want a multicolored highway of slaves where I can just walk through and just be like Edomite, Moabite.
I got that precept. Right?
Go ahead, Doc.
This is Psalms 108 in verse 9, and it reads, Moab is my wash pot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe.
Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Come on, man. So Moab is the filth. You know, imagine what happens with a wash pot. You got a wash pot, you cleaning all the filth off your body, and all the skin and residue gets left in that. You know, but at least you put the water in it and clean yourself. Nigga, you get the shoe.
Yeah, well, hey,
Y'all been stepping in shit. I'm gonna throw the shoe at this nigga. This
so
here, nigga.
these Moabites, they straight up retarded, bro.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, they with that wash pot, man. These Moabites are good at those different tasks, man.
Boy,
But
they can clean.
hey, man, one
They
time
can cook.
I went to the Big Apple, New York, man. We took our clothes over to the Moabites to wash our clothes. Then we got our bag back. That shit was square. They stacked that shit up in a square. It's like you was carrying a box of clothes, bro. They
like-
do that. They know how to do that
Bro,
shit.
they
bro.
are very meticulous. Like you look at that architecture over there. They are very skilled. You gotta remember they did come from Jake, but they did them retarded babies. Like you said.
Yeah, they're retarded, baby.
They them incest
They
babies.
saltless.
They them incest babies. So you know what I'm saying? They a little off. They a little through. You know, but so they the wash pot. But Esau, nigga, look at the shit shoot. You know.
Yeah, man. Your ass
So you got
belong-
that basis of men. Okay, you can read that.
All right, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 4 and verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will,
Right.
and setteth up over it the basis of men.
Setteth up over it the basis of men. Can somebody get that? I see servants upon horses and princes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the current state that we're in right now. You see, we saw that movie Django, all right? In that movie Django, it was that movie. They get that retribution at the end. Django. Yeah, you nigga. Whatever he said to him. I was glad when that coon got blew up. I was like, finally.
He said, who that nigga on that neck?
That's the scene I'm talking about.
Super
You see,
cool.
he's supposed to have been the one on the nag. Them E's supposed to have been on their feet walking around dirty and filthy, barefoot, through, hunched over. Massa, he actually don't look at me, President.
I got that precept.
All right, go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 7, and it reads, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
And princes walking as servants upon the earth. And who are the princes? We're Yasharala, princes of the power. And right now, we're in the lowest state. We're the offscouring of all. We're on the bottom of the bottom, where all these other nations are above us, man. I believe, is that Second Esdras where it speaks about
Him putting men, select.
why have we, if the world was created for our sakes, why we don't have an inheritance? Somebody grab that? Hey, how you guys doing? You know? So right now we're put at the very bottom. We're in that position. You know what I'm saying? But even with us being in that position, we're still beautiful in a sense. You know, because we're the most highest people. We're Yasharala, the princes of the power. You know? But we're not beautiful to the most high, those of us that have not repented. Okay, because we're filthy. He can't even look upon those of our people that haven't repented. You got it up? Read that, bro.
Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
Right. So the world was made for us. We're princes of the most high power. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah.
Hey, you could actually read up a couple verses on that too.
Yeah, it's a little more above that. For edification's sake.
All right.
Because hey, Moab is my wash pot. Edom shall I cast my shoe.
Yes.
Really, these other nations are made. They're our servants.
They're
man.
servants.
They're servants.
That's it.
And in terms of value to the Most High, they ain't really got much of value, man.
That's right.
2nd Ezra 6 and verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come from of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing,
Nothing.
but be like unto spittle, and hath likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Right. So we got a bunch of spitties walking around and running the world right now. Okay? We got a bunch of dust specks. The scriptures say that the nations are as the small dust of the balance. Okay, and a balance is a form of weighing. It's a scale. Okay, it uses weights and it uses counterweights in order to achieve a balance. You will put a certain weight and you will add the other stuff until it gained an equilibrium. So they don't even register. It ain't even moving the weight. You know, they don't hold any weight with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You spit on the ground, you're not gonna go gather that spit up. You finna be like, nigga, I'm glad I got that out of my throat. That was bothering me. You know?
I got
You're gonna be
precept.
mad if it get on your car. If it get on your shirt, you be mad. See, I got the damn spit on my shirt, man. Fucking get on your beard. You like, God, no. You be mad as hell. You trying to get rid of
When
it.
somebody spit in your face, man, that's a fighting action.
Oh, that-
you don't
oh,
catch that
consider that's
work shit in my face, man.
All through germs and bad
Yeah,
breath and shit.
mucus. Oh, man.
Yeah, mucus. You know, all that hawking and shit. Nobody want that on them. Sometimes it be yellow and green. We're gonna keep going, but
I got precepted back
Go
up,
ahead,
bro.
Doc.
Come on. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 7, and I'll start at verse 10. And it reads, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Salakia, Israel's portion. Because for their sakes I made the world.
for our sakes have the Lord made the world. Okay, and that parable speaking about basically everything that we've been through. Okay, it said in the old world before the fall of Adam and Eve, okay, the paths were made sure and wide. Everything was easy. When the brothers were speaking about it, they was like, man, Adam ain't used to have to till the land. He just have to walk through and just pick stuff and eat it. Stuff was already just ripe, just waiting to sit there at the peak of ripeness.
Perfect.
It probably didn't even die. He probably just all the time ripe strawberries and shit, sweet. You just pick it up, just that was perfect. Now you got to till the land, wait months, pick it at the right time. You don't pick it at the right time, it fall off and die, be rotten. You know, those paths were sure and wide. It was steadfast. You knew what was going to happen. Now everything's narrow. Nothing. There's no assurity. We only have assurity in the faith that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to save his elect. That's it. Okay? But even so is Israel's inheritance, meaning you're going to have to go through some things. But why though? Because he made the earth for our sake. What do? We went off. He gave us all that responsibility. The scripture says, to whom much is given, much is required. And to whom men commit much, they shall require of him the more.
Right. Hey, and even on top of that, man, the Most High is a power of balance, man. So, of course, you gotta go through this to understand what wickedness is, man. So that when we judge these other nations in the kingdom, we have a perfect understanding. What's
Tree
that?
of knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah, tree of knowledge of good and evil, man. You know, what's it? King Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, man. He came to know folly and foolishness and wisdom also, man. So he was balanced. You know.
Yeah. But you know, hey man. So we still got precepts you guys is holding? Go ahead. Bring them out. You got a precept?
Yeah.
Let's see what you rocking.
Exodus 3, verse 9. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me.
Speak up, brother, so we can get you on the camera.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 9. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me. And I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them.
Okay.
Come now therefore, and I will send unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people and children of Israel out of Egypt.
Okay, so that was happening during the time of Moses in the captivity of Egypt, okay? But also this is called the land of the north, all right? and spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay, so there's going to be a time. Okay, back then it was Moses. Okay, that was used. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna, make a little comment. With the spiritual Sodom in Egypt, man.
Yeah,
A lot of the different things is in the likeness of the Egyptian worship, man.
Man, this place is all them other wicked nations just all jumbled up. It's the new Tower of Babel, damn near.
And you know what, too? Even in ancient Rome, what was they doing? A part of that image goes back into them following the gods of all these other nations, man. When you go into crucifixion, that actually goes back into ancient Babylonian customs for how they used to torture people to death, man. That's where the Romans got it from. And he, does these different Egyptian rituals and calls upon these different deities from other nations, man. Which really he worshiping Satan. But that's part of that image, man. He wants to put that forth, man. Egyptians was all up into, that sexual magic and shit.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, them Canaanites.
Yeah, that's
Canaanites were some of the most shit, man. Them were some of the most perverted motherfuckers out there, man. That's why after they took over the land of Canaan, Moses went into it. Moses was like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Because that's what them niggas was doing. And that's why they got their ass kicked the fuck out. And if you don't want to get kicked the fuck out, you don't need to do that neither. And so, yeah, he was like, because of the inhabitants defiled the land spewed them out. So don't do after their works. Right, and that was them Hamites, man. Them Canaanites, and I'm sure them Egyptians was into that same shit. Okay, because I believe them Egyptologists believe in all that little sexual bullshit.
Yeah. Sexual magic.
Yeah, sex magic and shit. And who does that too? Esau.
Hey, you know what? And I was, looking up some stuff the other day, or I came across a video where this E was kind of breaking it down on how, at these inaugurations, right? You should look up that word inauguration. That goes back to ancient Rome.
It does, yeah.
Right.
I believe that, man, the brothers broke it down beautifully, man. I couldn't even reproduce it, but it had something to do with Remus and Romulus, and there was these, I believe there was these prophets, if you want to call them that. They was like these, pagan prophets they basically chose him. They was called the Augurenes or something like that. And so they chose Romulus to be the emperor of Rome. And so that's where they get that inauguration from, because they were called like the Augurenes or something like that.
Right, and they used to divine by observing the flight of birds.
Yeah, they used divination.
Yeah, they used divination, man. So it goes back to ancient Rome,
Did you
man.
find it out? What were they called?
The Merriam-Webster. It says the origin of inaugurate. This on Merriam-Webster.com. It says inaugurate comes from the Latin word inaugure, which was formed by combining with aguere, meaning to increase, or agere is likely the origin of agar, spelled the same in Latin and English, though the path of the word's development is uncertain. Let me jump down to the point. It says either agar originally meant one who furthers the growth or increase of an enterprise, and subsequently one who sees favorable omens for success, or the progression could have been growth or increase owing to the god's favor, and the subsequently favorable omen, with the omen then becoming the word for the person who reads or announces it, making agar an official diviner of ancient Rome.
An official diviner of ancient Rome. You see, they were the ones who did the divination and said Romulus shall be the first, he's going to be the emperor. Right? Romulus. And so that's where you get that word inauguration from. And it said what? One that foresees profitable, something like that, where it just read it. Go ahead.
In this video I was going into, man, those how this place is Sodom and Egypt, basically this Edomite was breaking it down during these inaugurations. They have a chamber in the Capitol building where they do that weird shit, man. But it all goes back to ancient Egypt, where they do their different rituals, man. They'll make a man lie down in a coffin, right? And then they'll piss on it. You know, they'll throw up their different enchantments, man, during the inauguration. You know, and I don't know if brothers notice, every time these devils do some put up enchantments or spells, they always got chemtrails drawing pentagrams in the sky. They was drawing, they had chemtrails drawing pentagrams in the sky on the inauguration day, man. I remember, because I was riding down the street, mad as shit. But Lord, need to take this place out, man.
When I had looked up Remus and Romulus, they got this picture of two babies feeding from a she-wolf.
Yeah, that's the origin of Romulus and Remus. Is they were raised by a she-wolf. They were two brothers that were raised by a she-wolf. Yeah. So yeah, man, you know, he founded in Merriam-Webster. We ain't got to go too deep into it necessarily, but they divined that Romulus would be the emperor, and that's where you get the term, that's where you get the name Rome from Romulus.
So of course these elites had to, you know, do their divination to see who's going to be the next candidate, who's going to be the next puppet that we're going to set up to forward our agenda. You know,
straight up, man, straight up. So unless brothers got some more topic, got some more, then we can go back to. I mean, we kind of roundaboutly went back to speaking about what we started. So we're gonna go in on that. Continue. Go ahead.
This is the one that the brother quoted. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 17. And it reads, "And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow."
Yeah, so that's what Solomon did when he was, you know, that was Yahweh Shai coming back, man. Okay. And so you see that in that incarnation, he experienced everything. You know, pretty much he went through folly, he went through all these different things just to kind of gain that balance. And then he went from having all these women to when he came back as Yahweh Shai, not having none, and not doing any of that, being perfect.
Hey, he came back. He ain't had no time for that, man.
Oh man,
he had to do what the Father told him to do, man.
Show you how powerful women is against men. Where we have to, like, you know, that's something you have to control yourself, have temperance in, because the first Adam was Yahweh Shai. What was his downfall?
Eve.
His woman. The second Adam, or the second time Yahweh Shai fell through women, was when he came as Solomon. He had many women.
That's right.
And then as he got older, his heart inclined unto them heathens. He started making temples. When he came back this last time, he was like, I'm done. I'm cool. And that's done now. I'm done getting in trouble. But you know, of course, you know, I'm just being funny, but yeah, man. So that was just something I had thought about one day. But unless Bo's got precepts, we're gonna go back in on how, okay, that article. Make that article.
Yep.
Going back into the article on CNN. Where I leave off. All right, Khan. It reads, among President Joe Biden's first actions in office was to issue an executive order bearing workplace discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. Another was to end the Trump administration's policies denying the existence of systematic racism and bearing diversity and inclusion training. Already, the relaunched White House website contact form invites users to choose their own pronouns, a seemingly small but deeply significant reflection of the new administration's commitment to inclusion.
So you already see where this place is heading, man. You already see where this place is heading. Can somebody get Revelation 11 and we'll just probably read verse 7, and then can you get they declare their sin and Sodom? Or somebody can get they declare their sin and Sodom.
I was just thinking that. That's
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I'll get Revelation.
What you got? You got something going into that?
Revelations 11, chapter 11, verse 7.
We gonna read. You gotta speak up, brother.
Okay. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt,
God.
where also our Lord was crucified.
Right. So let's touch on the first part of that. The beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war with them. So what's that beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit? Okay, that's that same beast we spoke about that got the deadly wound, but the wound was healed. All right? That wound, it was wounded, it was put into captivity for 1,000 years, and then it climbed up out of the bottomless pit, which is Rome. Okay? You got something up?
The precept when it talked about the being loose for a little season.
Loose for a season, yeah.
Come. This is Revelation chapter 20 and verse 3. And it reads,
Yeah,
you want to read from the top?
Go ahead, I'll read that.
God. It reads, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit,
Right.
and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And
Right.
after that, he must be loosed a little season.
Right, and so the bottomless pit is Europe. Okay, well, when I said Rome, I meant like it was representative of how Rome was cast into the bottomless pit, and then how he climbed up basically and revised itself as, you know, what we know to be like America. Really, it represents Esau's power structure. NATO and the EU. Okay, because what birthed this place? It was Britain, right? This place came out of Britain. I believe it refers to this place as the eighth. This is the eighth and is of the seven. If you know what I'm talking about, one of your brothers could probably get that. Okay, so this place came out of Great Britain. Okay, and that bottomless pit represents that Europe, which used to be during this time, if I'm not mistaken, was called Asia Minor. You know, in the past it was called Asia Minor, but now it's known as Europe. You know. So that beast represents NATO and the EU, man. He climbed out of it. He was put into captivity for 1,000 years, okay, under the Holy Roman Empire, which was Jake. You see, but like the bro says, which started with Septimius Severus taking them down, okay. And then they came back into power, and during the Renaissance era, which Renaissance means rebirth, they had renewed strength because the Most High brought them back into power, and then they went on this whole tirade of iconoclasm, of repainting certain historical images. They called it the Dark Ages. They tried to wipe out the fact that Jake regained power during that time and had their ass in slavery. That's why you get certain myths and certain legends in different places, like I believe in, I don't know, it's Deutschland. It's one of them places where they got Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas, he's like a dark figure. He's like an evil black figure. And he, I could be wrong on what he's called, but he's like an evil black demon, and he comes and he steals kids away.
Oh, Krampus.
Krampus.
Yeah.
That's right, Krampus, the water. So Krampus, so that's like how Jake was terrorizing these people, man. You had to be good or Krampus was gonna come fuck you up. Well, Krampus just so happens to be a dark figure which represents of Jake, you know? I perceive spiritually at least that that's what that's talking about. Because we was terrorizing their ass for 1,000 years. You see?
Is that in that same chapter where it talks about the two witnesses? Revelations 11, the two witnesses.
Then you got that? Oh, the brother got that.
I got 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 12.
What does it say?
But these as natural brute beasts made to be taken and destroyed speak evil of the things that they not understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption.
Yeah,
That's what's going on right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's more so like talking about Jake, okay, but, you know, of course that's E. E does that. You know, they learned that from E. You know what I'm saying? E said, like the brother mentioned earlier, he says what? Shout out, I don't know if he said that on camera. Shout out thing for him, say, yeah, surely not turning the things upside down. You can grab that out if you want to.
I got the one you had quoted earlier.
Go ahead, Bubba, read that.
Revelation 17 and 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is of the other.
Right.
And the other is not yet come.
Right.
And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
Right.
And the beast that was and is not, even he is 8th, and is of the 7th, and goeth into perdition.
Okay, so the beast that was and is not, he is 8 and is of the 7 and go up into perdition. That's speaking about America, Babylon the Great. Okay, that's speaking about America, Babylon the Great in these days, man. because he's of the seven, because he came out of that. You see? He came out of that and he's going to go into perdition, meaning destruction. Okay? 2 Thessalonians, it talks about the man of perdition, which I'm going to have to go back into that breakdown so I can break it down perfectly. Okay? Because there were 5 kingdoms that went down, and then Britain came and ruled for a time, and then America came out of that. So when it talks about those 5, there was 5 that went down. It was like Spain and a few others. And then Britain came and ruled for a time. Okay, then you had what they call, what was it, the Tea Party?
The Boston Tea Party. The Boston Tea Party.
The Boston Tea Party, which was sparked that kind of revolution where they broke off and came here. You know, so that's why it says he is the 8th, but is of the 7th, because he came from that beast and he came over here. That little horn that sprang up, that also represents this place. You know? You got some. Okay, so
It's in Romans 9.
turning of things. Then you got. Can somebody get the one where it says, "Surely thy turning of things upside down"? Mike can even type in "esteemed as the potter's clay." That probably might come up faster. Okay, because that's what E has said. Just to kind of close that topic off. Go ahead, bro. You bring it up, shot.
This is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 16. And it reads, "Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
Right.
For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not?
No.
Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?"
Come. And then Romans 9 says, "Why thou made me dust?" But that's that one right there. So that's just going into what he was brought out, where they brute beasts, they speak of the things they don't understand. That's E. Okay, but also there's 2/3 of the house of Israel that speak about this truth. Okay, they speak evil of this truth because they don't understand it, and they likewise are going to be destroyed with Esau. Because we know E's going to talk wickedly anyway. Okay, so that was speaking about Jacob. They've taken on that custom of talking shit. Okay, which, hey man, they've always been around through the spirit, so it is what it is. Bro's got precepts going into this place.
I got the one you had quoted earlier, Isaiah 3 and 9. The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom, they hide it not. Woe unto Salaki.
Yeah, they declare their sin as Sodom, they hide it not. Primarily, we talking about these moles. You know what I'm saying? These moles. You got something?
In the article, it said what? They was coming out the closet.
Oh yeah, cons. Oh yeah.
You got to read that.
Hold on, I'm about to get it.
Blatant, man.
Bro, it literally said coming off the closet, bro.
That's crazy.
And what's that
What
thing? That thing, that's the first transgender, I guess, official.
Oh yeah, bro, that's in this article, bro. It's
Did it actually say that it was a T?
Yeah, they
bro,
showed
yeah,
it
bro, it's
to
right
Yeah,
here.
oh, yeah, no.
That's the one
It's
that
in
was
this article.
in Pennsylvania.
Doctor. Oh, no, I ain't gonna say it. The name.
I mean, you know, yeah.
I mean,
Whoever it was, yeah, you could.
God.
Go ahead.
It's Dr. Rachel Levine or Levine.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of them alphabet people.
Yeah.
That's all we're going. That's all we're gonna say. But like he just read the scripture. What it say?
They declare their sin as Sodom, and they hide it not.
They declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not.
Even
Okay, and what is Sodom declared when the angels came? What was their declaration?
Moism.
Give us those men that we may lie with them.
That we may have our
We
way
may
with.
know them. You see? So they ain't no hiding it, and that's what we entered into now. You got it?
I found it in the article. It's back in the article on CNN. It says, and this is that doctor Levine speaking. It said, "I trust that Biden won't just undo Trump's damage and revert back to Obama-era policies. Biden will do better than that. After all, then Vice President Joe Biden was a major force in moving the Democratic Party out of the closet on supporting the alphabet people.
Wow.
In May 2012, Biden declared his support for marriage equality, the highest ranking official to do so at that time."
Wow. So.
Oh, hold on. There's more, Salaki.
Go ahead.
The move helped push President Barack Obama to also endorse same-sex marriage in a national TV interview a few days later, and well, the rest is history.
they said, the rest is history, man. Like, just going back to what the bro brought out, I had him pull up earlier. Most High mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and have caused evil to err in every work. All right, so that's this place, man. There's a perverse spirit here, okay, against the Most High, and that's why the Most High is being rejected in this place, man. That's why, like I had them bring out in Revelation 11 and 7, where our Lord also was crucified, man, because the ways of Yahweh Shai are crossed out here, man. Okay, a lot of people can't accept who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ because what the Bible says about Moism. To the point where they got to create new scriptures. Even the New Testament, when you go into the words where it says abusers of themselves of mankind, can somebody get that word, abusers of themselves of mankind? I don't know if we're going to get straight. I might not be able to put this on the main channel. But once we read this word, oh my goodness. Matter of fact, I want you to go, somebody can go to the definitions. I'm going to get you to do it, brother. Type in COITAL. Somebody get that abuse of themselves of mankind in the blue letter.
Okay, this is that word for abusers of themselves with mankind. Arsenokoitas.
Arsenokoitas. Hit play on the thing, hit play, and then let it get close to the thing.
Strong's G 733. Arsenokoites. Arsenokoites.
Did you get that word that I asked you to type in? COITAL. Can somebody type in? Matter of fact, go to. I've never done this. Might want to go to online etymology and type it in. Somebody.
God.
What you got out? Okay, come. Yeah. Okay, come. All right, come. You can read yours while he's getting that.
You said
COITAL.
COITAL.
So I got this on the Bible Sword app. All right, the arsenokoites is a compound word in the Greek, but as a full definition, it says one who lies with a male as with a female. Sodomite, homosexual.
Right. Now, I don't know if you can find that word. Now, type in COITUS.
It says
I might have to look it up myself. Go ahead.
It says a sodomite, abuser of that defile self with mankind.
Bro said, "Oh, you must have found it."
Oh yeah.
Coitus.
Oh, wow.
All right, somebody read that definition for coitus.
Coitus. This is the online etymology dictionary. Coitus is a noun, and it reads copulation, sexual intercourse, meeting together, sexual union, past participle of coir, to come together, meet, from.
Type in ARSE. Get the definition for that. Well, basically, copulation. Is there more to it? That's probably all we want. Or relating to sex, basically. Relating to sex or copulation. Now you can type it in there in the etymology as well. Okay, ARSE. Bro, did you get it in etymology or just a normal?
You said ARSE.
Okay, read that, Baba Kasha.
All right,
ARSE.
This is the etymology of the word arse.
Oh yeah, he got it.
And it means buttocks.
Buttocks. So wait a minute. Hold on. So when you get arsenal and you get coitus and you put them together, butt sex.
That's what they say over there in England. They say arse.
I'm gonna kick you in your arse.
Yeah,
Don't
right
be an arse. Don't be an arsehole. Arsenal coitus, butt sex.
Wow.
Right there in the Bible.
Wow.
It says that we don't went far enough. I'm not gonna read that, but let's just say it speaks against it. Let's just say that. All right. So that's the power of words, man. Because a lot of these root words come from these ancient languages. Arsenal, coitus, nigga, butt sex.
They were saying, Petros.
What?
They were saying like with certain rituals that they would do in like
Yeah,
the
of course.
modern day Christmas, like when they celebrate Christmas and stuff like that, with the paganistic things that they do, that's actually what they like.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff represents. Like the tree represents
The phallic symbol.
Yeah, the pinnacle.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
crazy.
Con, I think it represents the rod of Nimrod.
Yeah,
Huh? Hey, they got
star on top.
Cleopatra's needle or that Egyptian obelisk. It's a worship of a penis,
It
man.
is.
Yeah, no, Washington.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Con.
Yeah,
You got it.
Washington
it's in-
Monument.
It's in Washington. It's in the Vatican, and it's in
DC? Oh, you already said that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
London.
Yup, London. Yup, London.
So?
Yup, it is right.
Like I said, it caused Egypt to stagger, and you know, is it getting low? Huh?
It's red. It ain't low yet, but it's
Yeah,
red.
it just turned red.
It just turned red.
Go ahead, go ahead.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 5. Damn, it's cold out this
Oh
morning.
my
Yeah.
goodness, through. Yeah, we sacrificed it up today.
Hey, man.
It says, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, right? Which that goes into
Unlawful sexual activity.
yeah, unlawful sexual activities out of order, man.
Yep.
Because there's a particular order that the Lord ordained, you know, for your genitalia
members?
to be used, man.
Yeah, Con,
Okay.
Con. They have a purpose
They have a
outside
purpose.
of pleasure.
Right.
Okay.
It says evil concupiscence, right? Let's get that word for concupiscence.
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 However you want to say it. However you want to
And that
say
word
it.
for evil is kakos. It says of a bad nature, not such as ought to be, of a mode of thinking, feeling, acting, base, wrong, wicked, troublesome, injurious, pernicious, destructive, baneful, man. For that word evil. So evil concupiscence. Let's get the word concupiscence. Desire, craving, longing, desire for what was forbidden. All right, lust, man. Which just means a desire, man.
The scriptures like
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the scriptures say I should give them over to he shall get them over to vile affections.
Yeah.
And it-
Could a brother get concupiscence in the
They may burn in their lust for one another. Hey, look, we're not gonna turn this into a
You said,
alphabet bashing. You know how that go, man. This ain't gonna be able to do either. This ain't gonna last 2 seconds online.
speaking code. Speaking
Yeah, this ain't gonna last 2 seconds online.
And one of the definitions said destruction. That goes into population
Yeah,
control.
What is that? You said it.
It's like Planned Parenthood for the black man. That's what they want.
That's what they trying to do. Straight up. Destructive practices. What you got, Doc?
The etymology of
Concupiscence or concupiscence?
con. It's a noun, and it reads ardent desire, improper or illicit desire, lustful feeling,
Right.
eager desire. To be very desirous.
Yeah. Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with having desires, but like the bro read, the word before that, evil, an evil desire.
To long
You see?
for.
To long for, an evil longing, an evil eager longing, like the bro went into. And what was they doing in Sodom? They was beating the dough down.
Oh yeah, con.
They was beating the dough down. They was like, look, they looked good to
They
us.
was
We
trying to,
beat them.
they was trying to gang rape the angels, man.
Yeah, they was. Oh my goodness.
That's
Yeah, that's the up and down of it, though. That's like
disturbing.
that's the harsh
wicked as
truth about it.
hell.
They was trying
Yeah.
to do debauchery towards the angels, man.
And that also that could go into what? Incest,
I was just
adultery,
thinking that, so.
evil concupiscence. Adultery and incest is forbidden, man.
Yep.
Like King David's son.
Oh yeah, con.
Yeah.
What was his
Was it
name again?
Absalom that did it?
No, hold on, Salat.
One of King David's son.
Slept with his concubine?
Nah,
He desired
slept
his
with
sister.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. I know what you're talking
And
about.
it said he was vexed, man. So that demon hopped on him, man. That was an evil concupiscence.
Then when he got down, he was trying to tell her to get
away
out.
from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that regret part of sex.
That's the regret part of doing some weird shit. That's what happened.
Oh,
His ass knew he was wrong.
Absalom.
It was Absalom.
Oh yeah, you call it Salakia.
What can I say? No.
Was that the same time?
That's through the
It says
spirit.
Absalom.
Yeah, Khan.
I know.
Oh
that's
wait, no.
crazy. Oh, wait, I was gonna say.
No. It's Amnon.
Oh, Amnon.
Because it says
Absalom had Amnon killed for doing something.
Khan.
Right.
Which is all through the spirit.
He was asking his sister has Amnon. Absalom was asking the sister, has Amnon laid with you, like so to speak.
Okay.
He said, has thy brother been with thee?
Well, that's why I got it mixed up because he was involved in it. But yeah, Amnon. That was wild.
That was
So yeah, that
wicked.
was inordinate affections right there, man. That was unlawful sex.
Was
Inordinate affection.
inordinate infections really go into anal sex, oral sex,
Oh, okay.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause when you-
that's what the word sodomy goes back into it.
Somebody can type that in the blue letter. I mean, we done took it this far.
Sodom.
Tomboogery, as they call it in English.
Tomboogery.
You know.
I got sodomy. This is sodomy on the online etymology dictionary. It's a noun, and it reads unnatural sexual relations.
Okay, unnatural.
Okay, it says such as those imputed to the inhabitants of biblical Sodom, especially between persons of the same sex, but also with beasts. From it says from Old French sodomy, from late Latin peccatum, sodomidicum. It's a lot.
Dominican. It ain't really much in there.
Yeah, but it says anal sex.
Anal sex.
I got the word for what is it? Inordinate affection. It says in a bad sense, depraved passion, vile passions.
Yeah, so it is what it is. You know, we just wanted to go in on Freaky Joe, man. You see what Freaky Joe's pushing, man.
I got
You know, go ahead and read that pre. Probably gonna close it out here.
It's like that's part of the new world order, man. They declare sin in Sodom. They want to make this thing legal. So now, if you partying up in the club, right? You partying up in the club in a homosexual. Alphabeto, okay? ABC.
The mole step on your toe, then go ahead.
ABC start dancing behind you. You kick him square in the fucking temple.
You getting arrested?
You gonna go to jail.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some harsh penalty for your ass, man.
Oh my goodness.
Talk about, and you know that could also go into the draconian laws too, man.
Yep.
You're not able to execute judgment like it's supposed to.
Straight up.
And part of that whatever it was that Bill Biden just passed.
Yeah.
He's making it to where any basically schools, educational institutions that's being funded by the government, they allowing men to walk into women's bathrooms
Oh
now.
hell no.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
your
I
children
was
are not
reading
safe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if your daughter get that age, she decide to go to college or that school. But wait a minute, we talking about public schools too?
Man, we talking about anything that's funded by the
schools,
government,
anything
public
funded by
and
the
private.
So, oh no.
That's
So we
all
gonna make us see. Two horns
Which
is
is
the lamb,
my
spake as a
primary,
dragon.
yeah.
Two horns is a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, man. You see, because they make you take your kids to school, or they'll send the truancy officer out. Okay, but then the next step is they'll take your kids from you. You know,
On top of that, they allowing them alphabet people to be teachers now.
this is why they get their grievousness, which they have prescribed. Unrighteous degrees. You can type that in.
That's Isaiah 10:1. I got this quick pre.
Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7, and it reads, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Made all the earth drunk, and the nations have drunk on them, therefore are they mad. So yeah, they angry. They angry with these people, man, for what they have done, because they see Salakia. So they see the downfall that has come in because of these different philosophies and these different things that have been pushed, man. You see, because some of these nations don't play that, man. These different nations where they'll do a public execution.
Ishmael.
Honor
stoning,
killing.
Ishmael known for that.
honor killing.
They don't play
bro,
that.
they feeling the oppression, bro.
If you notice, man,
Decapitate people,
they
man.
be in order.
I seen some videos.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
The women be in order, the children be in order.
yeah.
Because when they see that execution come, they say, I don't want to deal
I
with
do
that.
not want to deal with that. Yo, the whole city on your ass.
They women be in order though.
Bro, the whole city be on your ass. Imagine, bro, that's how it was in the land of Israel, man. That's how it was in Israel when we was in order. The city would be on your head. You would be like, nigga, I don't want none of that. Ain't no escaping that.
Hey, why do you think? Why do you think when Judah, when one of the servants came back to Judah and said Tamar has been found to play the harlot in her father's house? You know, he's like, what did he
Kill
say,
that
man?
bitch.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, bring her here so we can burn her.
Yeah, so you can put her to
Kill that
death.
motherfucker.
But you know, the Lord had to set up that way because
He was
Judah didn't.
He
keep
was
his word.
slacking, man.
He was
Yeah,
slacking.
right.
Got caught slipping, man.
Yeah, and really, you know, hey, she continued her seed. That's why he said thou hast been more righteous than me.
Than me. Yep, that is.
I got that precept for you. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless.
Right. Okay. So they write these unrighteous decrees. What does it say about taking away the judgment?
Yeah, to turn aside the needy from judgment.
Turn aside the needy from judgment. All right? So there's certain judgments that don't go forth because the laws that's here is contrary to the laws of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Therefore, these judgments do not get executed, man. The penalty for adultery, which is sleeping with another man's wife, that don't get executed here. And if you were to execute it, what would happen? You'll get locked up. Okay? Hey, the judgment, like we just read about, they're furthering the peace and the happiness of someone who will be condemned according to the Bible, man.
Supposed to
That's
kill
why they don't deal with the scripture. You see? Well, hey, man.
Hey, when the inauguration happened, what was happening? Senators was being sworn in, right? On the Bible, man. Flip your Bible over, raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear this? You ain't supposed to swear on the Bible, man.
Nothing in heaven or on earth
Yeah, and you don't even uphold
Don't even
the
keep it.
laws.
at all. At all.
Lord's gonna have a field day with this place, man.
Slain of the Lord shall be many.
Hey, anybody got anything where we can just end off on about this place being destroyed and we'll wrap it up?
Okay,
But
that Isaiah.
that's what's gonna happen, man. That's what's gonna happen to this place. Matter of fact, what was you getting in Isaiah?
Isaiah 66 and
Okay.
13.
Somebody could get Isaiah 63.
I mean, is it 60? Yeah, go on, it's 66. This is Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. And it reads, for behold, the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury
right.
and his rebuke with flames of fire.
That's right. He's
For
gonna,
by,
gonna render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire, man. The chariots, all right, and the missiles is gonna destroy and decimate and vaporize this place, man. Every last thing that's here, the elements shall be melted with fervent heat. The concrete's gonna disappear. There's gonna be nothing but dust.
That's right. Polluted
Continue,
water.
Art.
Come on, verse 16. For by fire and by his sword would the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua plead with all flesh.
And that word plead means it's shapat, which means he's gonna judge with all flesh.
Come.
Okay? Shapat, judge.